So I just wanted to share with you guys briefly from 2 Timothy chapter 1. It says, and this is Paul writing to Timothy, and he says, "Therefore I remind you to stir up the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And so as I was doing my Bible study a couple days ago and reading these scriptures, I felt like the Lord was just saying that there's real power in these two scriptures here, because it says to stir up the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And so the thing is that when we stir up the gifts, or rather, when we are in fear, it makes us forget to stir up the gifts. Fear will cripple you using your gifts, right? Fear holds you back from using your gifts and flowing in your gifts freely and without fear. And so when we reject fear, when we say, I don't have a spirit of fear, I have the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind, that's when we are free to flow in the gifts, right? And so when it says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, the scripture in 1 John when it says that there is no fear in love, for perfect love casts out fear. And so I was just meditating on this, and it's when we are meditating in the love of God that casts out fear. When we don't have fear, that enables us to flow in the gifts, right? So take out the middleman. If you're meditating in the love of God, then that just frees you up to flow in the gifts, right? And so I was meditating on just the love of God, and even just like on friendship earlier this week, because I was looking at the story of David and Jonathan, just looking at their friendship. I was like, Lord, what does godly friendship look like? Both in the sense of our relationship with God being a friendship, and also in the sense of just our horizontal friendships with other people. Like, Lord, what does that look like in a godly, strong way? To have covenant friendships like Jonathan and David had. Because we all know the story of David and Jonathan, how that Jonathan literally sacrificed, or he risked his life in order to save David. Because Jonathan's dad, Saul, hated David so much, and he wanted to kill him. But Jonathan created a scheme, created a plan of escape to get David out because he loved him that much. It says that Jonathan loved David as he loved his own soul. And so I was like, Lord, just how does that kind of friendship happen? And so just meditating on that kind of friendship, and that's the kind of friendship the Lord has with us. The covenant kind of friendship that he loves us more than he loves his own soul, right? He loves us to the point where he died for us, where he, like Jonathan, risked his life for us, right? And just meditating on that. And when we understand that close personal friendship with God and that relationship with God to the point that he, like the song said, like he's reckless in his pursuit of us, right? I don't know if y'all have ever had a friend. I've only had a couple of these in my life because they're really rare, but friendships where the person will literally do anything for you. Like they'll come over at 11 p.m. because you're having a rough night, and they'll give you their lunch if you don't have one. Like people who will literally do anything for you. And those are rare because people tend to love themselves, right? But God is the perfect example of a selfless kind of love, and the kind of love that we get to pour out to other people as well. The selfless kind of love, and that enables us to have strong covenant friendships, again, both with the Lord and with other people. And so when we're meditating on the love of God and his friendship toward us, his reckless, abandoned love for us, the kind of friendship like a friend who will do anything for you, that, like 1 John says, it just casts out all fear, because you know that God will come over at 11 p.m. if you need him. God will, climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to get to you. And it casts out fear. And when you don't have fear, you're free to move in the gifts. And so, yeah, that's what I had.